Oh, wait, it's preparing. Hold on. It's preparing. Setting it up. Done. Redirecting. Live. All right, we are live. And you are watching an episode of Transparency and Merit.
Yes, Joe, we are.
Ooh, where did I put the music? Our first run here on Zoom, and right now you only see me. I wonder if that's a setting I need to change.
Maybe that, maybe it is. Or, did I stop sharing the screen? Did I stop myself? Let me see here. Did I stop my sharing the video? Or I don't remember that I stopped sharing video, but you know what? That may be the case, that you could only see yourself. But can you hear my voice, and am I coming across all right?
Let's see. Share screen. Multiple. Oh, there we go. Now we're both on, and hopefully everybody can hear us. Let me see. I'm going to test.
I don't remember that I stopped sharing video, but you know what? That may be the case, that you could only see yourself. But can you hear my voice, and am I coming across all right?
All right. So yes, you are watching Transparency and Merit. What's our episode today?
Stoic, calm, and Adderall. And my question is, does Adderall work? Is it effective? A lot of the stuff I hear about is that it's got a lot of negative side effects. But I mean, there are a lot of educators who say that it does work and it is effective with people with ADD, or what they call ADHD, attention deficit disorder hyperactivity, I believe they call it.
Yes, and I think it's really a discipline builder. I think it's it's not something, I don't believe it's a long-term sort of thing, though I'm sure people have been on it for years and years. Mm-hmm. And I would say it's one of the more dangerous drugs out there. It's definitely not good for you, but for people who have really bad ADD, I've heard really good things. I've seen really good things, but there's always a side effect or multiple side effects in the case of Adderall.
Now, I don't see a Wikipedia page on Adderall. But let me see here, Adderall. I'm looking at the combination medication is used to, let me see here, is used to treat
Adderall is what Chris Nelson took and got hooked on. It's pure meth, and it rots your
really?
brain. It's definitely not good for you. And yeah, I think there's like kind of like a 4-year shelf life on that sort of medication.
So, okay, because I'm looking here, read more. Okay, so Adderall, the medication guide provided by your pharmacist. Take the medication by mouth, with or without food, as directed by your doctor. Usually 1 to 3 times. 1 to 3 times a day. The first dose is usually taken when you're in the morning. If more doses are prescribed, take them as directed by your doctor, usually 4 to 6 hours apart. Taking this medication late in the day may cause trouble sleeping. The dosage is based on your medication, medical condition, and response to the treatment. Your doctor may adjust your dose to find what's best for you. So, yeah. Let me look here. Side effects. Let me look here. Side effects. Okay. Loss of appetite, weight loss, dry mouth, stomach upset, pain, nausea, vomiting. Remember that your doctor has prescribed this medication because he or she has judged that you benefit to the great, that you, the benefit to you is greater than the risks and the side effects. Many people using this medication do not have serious side effects. The medication may raise your blood pressure. Check your blood pressure regularly if, oops. Now, we're looking this at the Adderall drug. And
Are you able to see this on the video?
I absolutely am.
Lies is that there is more to Adderall than they might think. So we're here to present you with 10 facts about Adderall to make you more aware. Fact 1. Adderall is a medication under the class of drugs known as stimulants. Stimulants are substances that excite the brain. Taking safe dosage quantities of stimulants such as Adderall can effectively heighten certain desirable attributes such as focus, energy, alertness, and attention. Do you wonder what this might feel like? Imagine being in a forest and suddenly seeing a bear. Instantly, you become alert, focusing all your attention on what your next step should be. These feelings of heightened emotions are often experienced when taking a stimulant. Fact 2. Adderall is most often prescribed for individuals with ADHD. ADHD, or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, is a medical condition that is often characterized by symptoms such as distractibility, hyperactivity, and inattention. Adderall is known to help alleviate these symptoms. Fact 3. Adderall stimulates chemicals in the brain such as dopamine and norepinephrine.
So know that.
Individuals with ADHD often have a deficiency of dopamine and norepinephrine chemicals within their brain. To combat this, Adderall increases the release of these molecules in the brain and prevents their breakdown. This allows for the reduction of symptoms of hyperactivity, inattention, and impulsivity. Fact 4. Adderall is the most commonly abused prescription stimulant amongst college students. Studies have shown that about 35% of students have used stimulants such as Adderall for academic reasons. However, 81% of these students also believe that Adderall is not dangerous. While the majority of this percentage are college students, research has shown that younger students recreationally use Adderall as well. Specifically, 4.9% of 8th graders, 8.5% of 10th graders, and 10% of 12th graders have also used Adderall without a prescription.
How many 50-year-olds take it?
Fact 5. Adderall is commonly used as a study aid. In college, students' everyday struggles of completing assignment after assignment, substances like Adderall are commonly used to enhance academic productivity and attention. One study examined tweets related to Adderall. The tweets confirmed the popular use of Adderall as a study aid, with the highest number of related tweets during exam periods. In addition, the most common side effects that were tweeted about were sleep deprivation and loss of appetite. Although mainly used as a study aid, Adderall has other uses. A study demonstrated that around 19% of college students have used prescription stimulants in combination with alcohol for recreational use. Fact 6. Adderall is the most widely prescribed stimulant. Throughout the years, the diagnosis of mental health disorders such as ADHD have increased. With this comes an increased use of Adderall. Specifically, the amount of prescriptions made for stimulants such as Adderall have increased by 368.5% between the years of 1992 and 2002. Fact 7. There are several short-term effects associated with Adderall use. Some of these effects include gastrointestinal problems, blurry vision, increased body temperature, increased blood pressure, increased heart rate, reduced circulation, irritability, and insomnia. Fact 8. There are some long-term effects associated with Adderall use.
Long-term effects. I'm reading also that about 2.5 million Americans are prescribed Adderall or Ritalin to treat ADHD.
Some of these effects include significant weight loss, slowed weight gain, cardiovascular impairments, hallucinations, psychotic episodes, mood changes, anxiety, sleep difficulties, heart attacks, or even death. Fact 9. Adderall is an addictive drug that can cause serious negative effects. Stimulants are addictive substances because they activate your reward pathway, leading to positive emotions. With regular abuse of Adderall, drug tolerance is likely to occur, meaning your body no longer reacts to this drug. During this time, your body may experience withdrawal symptoms, including violent mood swings, extreme fatigue, and uncontrollable cravings. To avoid this, higher doses of Adderall are typically taken to sustain rewarding effects, and this can lead to adverse reactions such as hallucinations, depression, and
To avoid this, spend money on really good rehab. This is just advice to people.
Yes.
anxiety and obsessive behavior. Eventually, an overdose may occur because of this, which may result in a decline in brain function, brain bleeding, circulatory system failure, kidney failure, muscle breakdown, comas, or even death. Finally, fact 10. There are some alternatives for recreational use of Adderall. Some alternatives that research suggests are caffeine, a good night's sleep, daily exercise, and a well-balanced diet to help improve cognitive performances. We hope that with these 10 facts, you've learned something new about Adderall. Thanks for watching.
Bye. Yeah, so that's some quick facts on Adderall. Ooh, here's another quick thing here. Let's see. How long is this? A 3-minute video. Let's just watch this one also. Or should we do one of these? Let's see. This guy's interesting. He's gone through did all the drug things on his.
The 1 year on Adderall is, why don't we do the 1 year on Adderall?
All right.
He didn't even shave.
He sure didn't.
Which one are you going to say? Well, it's been an entire year since I took that first Adderall pill, and
It's been quite the journey, I can tell you that. There's definitely been some ups and downs, and I've learned a whole bunch of stuff about ADHD, about Adderall and other medications, about my body, and I definitely know some do's and don'ts now. First of all, I consider the treatment a resounding success. I mean, it's really transformed my life. When I think about how I was before I started any kind of treatment at all, that includes Adderall and therapy, by the way. Nowadays, I'm less flustered, I'm less erratic, I'm more confident. I just feel more in control of my life now, which is amazing. So I want to talk about what life was like before the treatment first, because I feel that's kind of important. So before I started the treatment, I was doing okay. I had got through school and college. I had gone to university and got a degree. I had started my own freelancing company, and I was also working as an assistant manager in another job as well. So I was doing all right, or so I thought. When I really start to think about all of those achievements, while I am really proud of myself for doing all that, it's easy to forget the struggle that came with all that. Take school, for instance. My attendance for school was atrocious. And when I was in school, I couldn't concentrate at all, and I was constantly being reprimanded or sent out of classes for distracting other students all of the time. The truth is, I barely scraped through school. I had just enough grades to just make it to college. So at college, it was a little bit different because I was allowed to take courses that I was actually passionate about. The problem is that ADHD doesn't really care about what you're passionate about. Because I cared so much about these classes, when I was in class, sometimes that hyper focus would just kick in, and then I would be like, boom, best student in the class, absolutely soaking up every single ounce of information that comes out of the class. And I did really well. And then other days, I was completely non-existent. Like, I just couldn't even focus on what was going on. I just didn't participate. I just kind of was totally out of it. And the worst part was talking to my teachers, they said the same thing over and over again. You know, you've got so much potential, Chris. You could do so well. You just need to listen. You just need to try harder. And no, it's not that easy, and it sucks. And all of you, I bet, can relate to that. It really sucks because you know how much potential you have, but you just can't do it all the time. And at that point, I was undiagnosed, so neither myself nor my teachers had any inkling that it was ADHD, and I just thought that that's who I was, and they just thought that I was lazy. And that is a common misconception with ADHD. Luckily, one of the really awesome things about ADHD is I was able to hyper-focus a couple of days before my exams, and I did pretty well.
All right. Do we want to keep going with this guy? Are you into it? Okay.
No.
Okay. So this guy is 4. He's saying his experience was very positive.
Now, I've worked with a couple of educators, and they have said that it does work, that it is effective, and the people who are against it, you know, I mean, there are people that abuse it, but I mean, it is around because perhaps it does, I mean, that it does work. Now, I wonder if there are any, because from my understanding, they used to have diet, you know, people changing their diet, which would change their mood and stuff as well. So, and that's, we hear less about that, like people changing their diet. But now it seems to be strictly Adderall. And, you know, I wonder, there has been a lot more violence with teenagers and the like. I wonder if Adderall and Ritalin have anything to do with the level of violence that has happened with our adolescent population. Joe, are you still there?
Oh yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just see your picture there, and you're stopped in mid-screen. Am I coming on the screen, or am I not? Is it just you on there?
Oh, I'm sharing the screen. That's what's going on here. Oh yeah. Let's see if I can get it to something better.
Your place looks like a pigsty.
Keep it on this Joker. Yeah. So, what was the title of this one? Let's see. Stoic calm and Adderall. Yeah. So, instilling stoic calm while you're on methamphetamines. I
Now,
wonder.
Debbie says that I'm fine, Brian.
I don't have any programs running. I have a lot of tabs open though.
He sure does. By the way, we're going to be we're going to be interviewing a juggalette fairly soon. So that'll be kind of interesting. It is. So, I mean, what if a child has been diagnosed with ADHD, and like you have a friend and they have a child and they've been diagnosed with ADHD,
There we go.
what would you recommend them?
I'm sorry. Did you ask me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Repeat it because my microphone went out. What did you ask? Sorry.
I asked if you had a child and they were diagnosed with ADHD, what?
Well, I've been in that situation many times. I've never recommended taking the child to a psychiatrist and getting the medication route, unless there was other people in the team who had, and if there was some sort of medical recommendation. Otherwise, my recommendation was always to really stick with more natural outlets and just kind of focusing on that. But there have been situations where I didn't think it was the right thing to go to medicine, and they went to medicine anyways, and there were positive results. But in the end, the person went off the medication after a short period of time. But there were positive results from it. I won't lie. I'm not a big fan of any medicines. I just don't like that as a first line approach.
Yeah, I mean, and I've said this before that that they used to give it to. They used to give. It seemed like they used to give more of an option of diet and exercise, which I don't think they do as much anymore.
Well, that's going to change. I think that's going to be part of when our medical system gets overhauled. I think holistic medicine and veering away from these sort of this pharmacological approach. I think there's going to be more of that again. I think it's going to be more of the normal. And in other countries, it's very much the normal to basically look at the whole picture, get a full understanding of the client. Now it's used to just slap over a problem and you can't get this and this done. Your grades suck. Your whatever it is. Here's some Adderall, or what I mean, for any major thing going on. There's always I guess there's now a medicine that's just kind of slapped over the problem. But I think we're heading towards a time when this won't be the case, and we're going to go back to a more holistic approach.
Now, Elvis Presley and when my father was in the military, and also I think when Elvis Presley was in the military, they gave them like pep pills for maneuvers. I wonder if there is a connection between the medication that they gave soldiers in the armed forces and the Adderall that they are taking today.
Both of Debbie's kids had ADHD, I think is what she's saying, or maybe attention deficit. Um, very, very interesting, but she didn't go the medicine route.
Yeah. Well, you know, yeah, and it's like I said, it's a really interesting thing, and you know, you kind of want to know what is the best way, but I'm wondering what correlation, if this was something that was like, if there is a correlation to what they gave to the military, because they used to give them what was called pep pills and Adderall, and what they call Ritalin today. You know, because I know that in the 1960s, they had a thing called McNamara. Like they really lowered the requirements for people in our military services.
Yes, they did. Do you remember back when we were young, you can get into the military even with a tattoo? Now everybody has a tattoo. That's just one example.
But this was actually in the 1960s.
Mm-hmm.
They lowered the I think it was because when Muhammad Ali refused the draft, he scored he scored really low on the test to get in. I don't think it was the ASVAB that the ASVAB hadn't been invented yet, but he had scored rather low. And then I think along with that, they lowered the requirements, and they had a thing called McNamara's morons. And I wonder if things like Adderall or Ritalin were, because they were giving, I know they like during World War II and then Korea and Vietnam, they were giving the troops like pep pills to keep them up. And I'm wondering if Adderall and this kind of stimulant was invented in the military because they had people that were like ADHD. I guess it would be considered ADHD back then in our armed forces, and they would give them the you know, kind of a stimulus if there isn't a military connection with the invention of Adderall. Because I know it was called Ritalin before, and now they call it Adderall. And I wonder if there's much of a difference between Adderall and Ritalin.
There is. Adderall is certainly a stronger or more closely related to methamphetamine, and I think that Ritalin was more of a I'm not sure. Is it dexedrine? Is that what Ritalin was? I'm not sure. Wayne's posting that, but certainly changed. What do you say?
Let's take him, and we can always hang up on Howard if he
Yes.
blows to another
You're on with Brian and Joe. How can we help you tonight?
I thought I was listening to something that was put on earlier, and then I realized that I was being bored to tears live.
Yeah, tonight.
Not altogether.
You know, we're using a new software, and I think I'm just kind of looking at all the bells and whistles. I'm not really too familiar with this as a live streaming tool. I'm using Zoom now.
So we always have Howard. Howard is our greatest fan of boredom. I think that
yes.
When he's
this guy who puts everybody to sleep comes on and talks about boredom.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but I think
we do want to commend you. I do want to commend you for putting on a show with absolutely, it's obvious, no preparation whatsoever.
None. No.
That has almost bored me to tears.
But Howard, none of our shows are prepared. And wouldn't you admit, as far as like some of these topics, obviously you can't get on and just know all the I don't know half the people or things that Brian even brings up, but we do it on the fly almost every time. And I think, don't you think that's good practice at very least?
It's great practice if you want to practice on your audience. But listen, Brian is not the type, I think, that tends to thrive in that environment. I do. He doesn't.
He does much better with a script. I do agree. We've done a lot of things with where there were scripts involved, and yeah, he kills it usually with a script. You
don't need a script. You just need a piece of paper with one word on it.
Yes.
And put it across from his face so that he knows what the topic is.
Oh yeah.
So, do you have anything to add to besides
great idea,
putting me down and our show down? Do you have anything to add, like interesting to add about the topic of Adderall?
Well, first of all, I'd like you to get closer to that microphone.
All right, I'm getting closer to the microphone. Do you have?
I don't know why you should introduce yourself to your microphone.
Well, I'm introducing myself now. Howard, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Howard?
Well, I don't hear you well. Nobody hears you well.
I'm sorry.
What do you mean? A show from
you are responding. Howard, you are responding to what I'm saying. Howard, you are responding to what I'm saying, so you can hear me well enough to respond to what I'm saying. Yeah. So do you have? All right, Howard.
Why does he keep repeating my name?
Because you were not being quiet and you were just okay. Howard, do you have anything to add about Adderall, the topic that we were on? Is there anything to add? Because I know you like to talk about the quality of our show and the manner in which we choose to present it, or how badly we choose to present it. Why don't you enlighten us on your knowledge of Adderall?
Well, I'd like you to tell me first whether or not you take it.
No.
Do you take any kind of psycho-medication?
No. I only take blood pressure medication and medication for my diabetes.
I see. And then you follow that up with cheesecake. Okay, well, I'm glad we've got that straightened out. What makes you an expert on Adderall?
I'm not an expert. Wait. Howard. Okay, you're asking. Okay, Howard, you're asking a question like with another question, but does one have to be an expert to talk about a subject?
Well, on certain things, yes.
Really? Is that the law?
It's not the law, but it makes common sense. Well, let's put it this way. Okay, I would not come to you. Hold on, let me finish. Now, I know your mind is racing. I know that your mind is moving at a mile a minute, even though your lips don't portray it. I would not come to you for aviation advice.
We're not giving advice. We're just talking about a subject.
Yeah, this is fully informative.
This is not medical, Howard. This is not medical advice. We are not giving out. We're just weighing the pros and cons and what we know. We do not give out like what is best for you.
Right.
But you don't know anything.
Okay. You should.
A short list,
yeah,
right?
I guess I don't know anything. Maybe I don't. I mean, okay. What's your point? So I don't know anything. I can't read a subject and this is transparency and merit, and I guess to you, the the transparency part is that I don't know anything, and maybe I don't know. I mean, I don't know that much. I mean, I know what I've read, and I'm just discussing it. What is the harm of discussing Adderall? What is the harm in it?
Well, there's no harm in it per se, but do you think that you are a candidate for Adderall?
Maybe. Do you think I am?
And
do you think I'm?
I know enough about it. I know that people use it in school to help them study as a cheat.
Yeah,
I don't know what the dangers are.
And I don't think we know. I don't know if Brian knows, but he asked about it, and so we decided to talk about it a little bit, which I think is always better than maybe going in and maybe asking a doctor for some without knowing what you're asking for.
Now, Howard, do you have an opinion on Adderall? Because you're kind of like. Have you ever watched SNL when Alex Trebek is on there and he asks Sean Connery questions? You kind of remember. I feel like I'm Alex Trebek and you're Sean Connery.
Yeah.
I have never watched an episode of SNL.
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with the Alex Trebek episode with Sean Connery when you're kind of like that.
I've never seen an episode.
It's all. You come on with the same diatribe that we are boring, and that we should probably commit suicide instead of continuing on with our show. I think you have.
I think that's a big reach. What does the word diatribe mean?
The word diatribe means just
no.
bloviating.
What does the word diatribe mean?
It means bloviating.
No.
Give me your answer, Howard.
Well, you're using a word, but I don't think that you know how the word is used. It sounds good, but I've got to call you on it.
Okay, I was wrong. What does diatribe mean?
A bitter, abusive denunciation.
Howard, that's you.
Well, you're correct, but you still just proved that you didn't know what it meant.
Well, I mean, I don't have the exact. I don't have a.
I don't think he fully misused it.
Yeah, I don't have like dictionary.com in my brain where I can
right.
Pull up definitions out of my yin yang, but I mean,
it felt right. It felt.
Howard, this is the thing. You're here just to, for whatever reason, you get the Schadenfreude, and you just enjoy making our show, like just putting us down and just.
You know it. You know what? You hit the nail right on the head. That is perfect. When I see some of these Antifa folks, yes, and they end up straying from their ranks, and then somebody like the Proud Boys gets a hold of them and just beats them almost to death, I really enjoy that. I get excited. I think, wow, I want to see more of this.
Well, I mean, you and a lot of other people. I mean, some people believe they are getting their comeuppance. But now we strayed away from the topic of Adderall, and
that's why you need that big sign in front of you with the word Adderall.
Thank you, Howard. Howard, do you have? Let me ask you, Howard. Do you have an opinion on the subject of Adderall?
I have an opinion on every subject, but I think that going down the road of medication and some of these things doesn't work very well. Although for some people it seems to work fine.
Okay.
I have a friend who has ADHD or ADD or whatever it's called lately. and he's a financial planner. He takes his medicine in the morning and does not take it in the evening and doesn't take it at night, on the weekends. So on the weekends and into the evening, he becomes a hot mess. Speaking quickly, not making any sense, thoughts in all directions. And he's kind of fun to play with, but after a while, it does get annoying.
It is also important. That's a good point too. Going off of the medication or missing a dosage, you start to your old traits come back, maybe even kind of more pronounced and stronger, like what you're saying. So, yeah, it's always easy to tell if somebody's that's on Adderall is off Adderall.
Right, and for some reason, it has a half-life that's very short.
Yeah. Indeed.
So by the end of the day, he starts to become annoying.
Yeah, it wears off fairly quickly. That's not good.
Yes. Now, Brian, did you know the definition of a half-life, or did you confuse that with half-wit?
Oh, Howard. This is Howard. I'm gonna piss. I'm gonna outlive you just to do something nasty on your grave. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, that's a challenge I'm willing to take. As I ponder the palm full of pills in front of me.
Would you bet your life savings on that, Howard?
Well, question is, would you bet your life savings on that?
I think because Howard, I think you're not as healthy as me.
Tell me what you ordered last night for dinner.
Well, I'll tell you what I had today. I had 6, what do you call it, chorizos, or what do you call it? For the Mexican, I had like 6 of them.
But I asked you, what did you have for dinner last night?
I had lasagna.
Lasagna. Now, knowing that it takes about 3 days to get all those carbs out of your system, what do you think it matters what you had today?
Well, I was even worse today because I had like 6 things of, I think they're called, what are they called along the chorizos? I don't know how to pronounce them, but yeah, they were Mexican.
So why did you even bother taking medication?
Because if I don't, I'll die.
Oh, I think it's pretty clear that if you keep ordering lasagna, you're going to die.
Yeah, probably.
Have you figured out how to mitigate your eating so that it's not that bad? I'll give you an example. Order a pizza, which I know. Do you eat a whole 15-inch pie or half of it and half the next day?
Geez, now you're making me hungry for pizza.
Yes.
I can basically, I can eat a little, though usually it takes me a while, but it's usually by the end of the day, I've scarfed the whole thing down.
Exactly. So if you took half the pizza, half of it, scraped off the toppings and put it on the other half and threw the bread away from the half you just scraped, imagine the reduction in carbs in your daily intake.
I could do that. It's making me hungry right now, Howie.
Oh, well, quite tasty, of course.
Yes, it is. So,
but it's not for you.
No.
Why can't you be happy with a steak?
I like steak, but I like other things. I mean, man does not live by steak alone.
A steak is
no, we're getting onto my diet, Howard, and the thing of it is, I'm a compulsive overeater. I don't make any bones about that. I love food.
But you can compulsively overeat the right stuff instead of the wrong stuff.
Howard.
Can we talk about some of these other ideas here?
Yeah, I mean the whole subject was Adderall.
Are we back to the one piece of paper?
Howard, I think you have PhD. Howard has just, because he just went off topic. I think me and my diet and my ignorance that Howard sees as my ignorance is Howard's most favorite topic. And it's like,
you brought up longer than I will.
Well, Howard, like I said, he loves to just just try to derail the show. He gets enjoyment from it, and I guess it's somewhat entertaining, but it's also, we were talking about Adderall, and he could help the show along, but instead, he would rather say how boring we are.
Yes.
Well, it's quite possible that my boredom is a manifestation of ADHD. What do you think?
Yeah, that's what I was going to think. I think you need not just pills, but probably like an injection of Adderall right in the head.
Do you think that with Adderall, I might stay more on topic?
That and serious shock therapy, I think, might help you. The kind they had in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yes.
Well, that's usually reserved for people with severe depression. Have you ever even entertained the thought that I might, in any way, shape, or form, be depressed?
I think you can cause other people's depression.
Yes, you are exactly correct. Do I do that to you?
No, I don't. I've actually, the only time I've been upset was when you would call on.
Okay. Can we get back to the Adderall topic, please?
Yes.
This show is a good case for Adderall.
I've just discovered that Brian not only needs one page in front of him that says Adderall, but he needs another one right next to it that says, "Don't mention the Skype constant calling again."
Howard, you are coming in much better on Zoom than you have on the.
Yes. What do you think of our upgrade here?
Well, I don't know how it sounds. Listening, I'm not listening to it on.
Well, using Zoom instead of StreamYard, I think maybe an upgrade of some sort.
Well, have you tried Microsoft Teams, which is now free?
I have not.
You might find that the quality there is even better.
May try that. That's a good idea, and it's free. So, hey,
they have made it free now,
but
because of Zoom.
And can you stream directly to YouTube? Because
I don't know.
I think that's the catch. That's the big catch, because with Zoom you can use Zoom free too, but you can't stream live to YouTube with it unless you upgrade.
You're limited by time with Zoom, are you not?
Not with this account.
Why is this account different?
Because we upgraded.
Okay, there's your answer. Ryan, did you forget we were talking about Adderall?
No, Howard, I didn't. You came in. We were talking about Adderall when you came onto the call.
Yes.
And basically, you are like a big ADHD, and I think what could happen is if when we disconnect the call, that will be like the Adderall, because you are just derailing and unfocusing our show. So
I think that's unfair. But do you know anybody that takes Adderall? Because I do. That would be no.
Not that they admit, but I think I know that. Okay.
So I'm more knowledgeable than you.
And the chances are, if you know somebody is on and they haven't talked about it, chances are they're probably taking too much.
But the thing of it is,
I
Howard,
would.
you came on as you usually do. You haven't basically come on to add to the conversation. You've come on to basically put us down and
But anything I do adds to the conversation. I'm a protagonist.
Yeah, I suppose.
So without a protagonist, what do you have?
So let me see here.
Boring show. Right next to the sign, right next to the thing
hold on a second.
in front of you that says Adderall, and don't talk about the Skype calls. You should put next to it, no dead air.
Well, no, I'm just reading that I don't have a mic, and they're saying that I don't have a mic, and you sounds.
Are you talking into your computer, or are you talking into the mic on your desk?
I'm talking into my computer.
Okay.
Yes. Can't you tell?
Yeah, it sounds a little distant. I mean, you have a microphone, you have a headphone, you just don't use them.
Is it sheer laziness on your part, Brian, that you don't use your microphone?
Yeah, it might be.
The last time I used the mic on the for the Zoom, not for the Zoom, but for when we were on a show, StreamYard, it did not. It came in. I didn't come in at all.
Because you didn't have it set up properly.
Correct.
Well, no, I set it up. I mean, well, I set it up.
Your logic is flawed.
Oh God, here we go. Anyways,
you just correlated your bad sound with a product that you never set up.
Look at the paper.
So it says it sounds like a room mic.
Yeah, it's a computer
mic.
Like
you have echo off the walls is what it sounds like.
Well, I guess
you have a room with nothing. Brian, you have a room with nothing on the walls. You have no carpeting, which is a good thing, but you have nothing on the walls to absorb your sound. It bounces all over the place.
We can fix that. Anyways, can we get back? Now that we know what's wrong.
He could, hold on, I'm going to make a suggestion. He's using a laptop, yes?
No.
No, I'm using a desktop.
Okay. Build yourself with a large box. Build yourself an enclosure that you can put around the computer and line it with foam so that you're looking into like what would look like an amphitheater, but a small amphitheater, so that when you speak, it absorbs all the sound except for what goes into the microphone, but there's no bounce back from the wall that's right behind the computer. Now, your concept of me coming on to destroy your show has just been destroyed itself by the fact that I've just given you very good advice, which even on the last show, I gave you excellent advice, which was reboot your computer. And for those of you with lots of tabs open, I would say go look up a plugin called the Great Suspender.
Okay.
The Great Suspender, which will suspend the memory on all those tabs. And so when you go back to that tab that you haven't looked at in 2 weeks, but is still open, it's not eating up any memory until you open it again. The Great Suspender.
I got it. Okay, got it.
All right. So let's recap before we call this show to an end. Howard.
I'm sorry, but are you getting tired?
Well, I may want to go out and do something. So Howard, give us. All right, Howard. You're interrupting me.
You would make, Brian, a fantastic pizza man. You should take the money that you inherited and buy yourself a pizza shop.
All right, Howard.
Quit your job and look. Think of the money that you could make by providing pizzas in the time of COVID.
All right, Howard. Give us your opinion on Adderall again. Just a closing remarks. And I'll give mine, and Joe will give his, and we'll call the show a day. Hey, guys, like and subscribe to our channel. Unless you're Howard, unless you think like Howard and think this show is awful. And it meanders and everything else. You know, like and subscribe. Howard, do you have an opinion? Again, like a closing opinion on Adderall? Like if someone came to you and says, my child has been diagnosed with ADHD and he's taking Adderall, what would you recommend?
I would recommend fresh air and less carbs in your food.
Joe?
Yes.
Do you have anything to add to end this puppy?
Yes. All right.
And in last place, with negative $69, oh, brother, Sean Connery. Negative $69. Okay, that wasn't your score.
Well, 69 is how I scored with your mother last night.
There you go.
All right.
That was my opinion. Don't get Adderall unless you've seen a doctor and a psychiatrist.
Yeah, and of course we're not medical people. I mean, it's always good to talk it over with a medical professional. We're just saying, what are the effects? And I would just, this could be a longer going show because, like I said, I remember when my father was in the military, he told me he took, I guess, a kind of pep pills, and Elvis got addicted to the pep pills that he got when he was in the Army during military maneuvers. So, yeah. Anyway, like and subscribe our show.
Would you educate us, Brian, by... Yeah, you see Susie's name now? She's changed it. It's gotten very long.
Yes.
Would you pronounce her name for me?
Susie LeBlanc Delacroix. It might be Delacroix.
You know what? You were doing okay until the last name.
Okay. Is it not Delacroix?
You would know. Wait a minute. You would know, being a movie guy, being Mr. Midnight Movie, yes, you would know from The Green Mile that the last name is Delacroix.
Delacroix.
Well,
and why would you know that from The Green Mile?
Howard, I'm gonna shock you here. That is one of the films that I watched, but I never finished it, and I'm not a fan. I mean,
how is that possible that you've never seen that movie through the entirety?
I've seen it. I enjoyed bits and pieces of it, but I feel it's an overrated film. Just
Listen, folks, do you want to get a great Christmas gift and support transparency and merit? Go to our website and check out our shop. I've got t-shirts and sweatshirts at blowout prices. These are
What does the t-shirt say?
They are Gone with the Wind t-shirts, and they're awesome, and they're dirt cheap. And buy them and resell them on eBay. I guarantee you'll triple your money. I won't guarantee that, but you'll at least double your money. But yeah, go on our shop right now. Transparency and Merit. Buy a t-shirt, unless you live in Thailand, because the shipping will create a massive problem for us. Just kidding. I think we could send worldwide. And buy a t-shirt, a Gone with the Wind t-shirt, or a sweatshirt. It's getting cold out. And support Transparency and Merit, transparencyandmerit.com. Brian, anything else?
You know, I ask you, why Gone with the Wind?
We have a whole bunch of them.
And Gone with the Wind is a controversial subject that we're going to be tackling. Film and cinema, culture, and the like. So, yeah, I just want to add that things like this it's just a discussion. It is not not an endorsement of Adderall or a condemnation of Adderall. We're just here to discuss the issue, and like I said, like and subscribe.
May I ask you, Brian? May I ask you, how did you come up with this as a topic?
You know what? I just thought of it.
Well, part of it was me. He brought it up a couple times, and I said, if you want to learn about it, let's do a show about it, and we did.
But he didn't learn about it.
Well, we watched a couple crappy videos at the beginning and got kind of a half-assed response from you. And
yeah.
But if you watch videos at the beginning, I guarantee you his mind was elsewhere.
No, he watched them and they brought up 10 points about Adderall.
Howard.
Probably all things we know, and you're barking at the moon again.
You're making assumptions, barking at the moon.
Isn't he well known?
You're a vindictive old man.
Off and watching porn while you'd
think at 67 years of age you wouldn't pull. You'd be a nicer person, but you'd become even more.
58.
You'd be more. Well, you sound like you're 75. I think I'm going to cast you in Oh God Part 7. You're going to replace George Burns.
And last show turned out pretty good. I like the legal talk. I hope we can do another show where we go into some of those ideas.
I enjoy that.
Yeah. Howard,
very interesting.
I have a huge amount of knowledge in that particular subject.
So we'll get back to that because I think those are important ideas.
That seems to be a hot topic for Darren as well.
Yeah, he enjoys it. I enjoy it.
Maybe the next show that we may do is one on narcissism, and Howard will be like just a guest. I mean, just because I think he is a perfect specimen for the topic of narcissistic personality disorder.
If we can get a big picture of Howard, so we have something to throw up on our screen, and
it's just in a sign that says "Hello, my name."
I don't understand where you come off with narcissism because I have made this entire show about you.
You're doing it for narcissistic reasons, I suspect.
Oh.
And I think
you suspect. Are you an expert at narcissism?
I think you will be found guilty in the court of public opinion. You have very narcissistic tendencies, and perhaps
egotistic. Give me an example of something I do that's narcissistic.
Well, isn't Freud and Schadenfreude is a kind of sense of narcissism.
Is that a symptom of being a narcissist?
I think it possibly is, yes.
I'm not convinced.
Well, you don't have to be. You don't have to be convinced of anything, Howard.
Why do you use my name so often?
Why not?
Can we?
Use my name. Call me Brian. I'm here.
Right, but I don't say Brian, and you know Brian.
Yes,
Why do you bring up my name so often?
You know what? It wasn't. I don't think I meant any ill contempt by it, but I'm just. You do talk over me.
I think you did. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't imply that you had any ill intent.
Howard, there is Joe.
Bring it up.
Okay, for the most part, I'm talking to Joe or I'm talking to Howard. When I'm talking to Joe, I might say Joe. And when I'm talking to Howard, I may say Howard.
But you never say my name once. You always say it multiple times in succession.
Well, because you're in the process of interrupting me, I will mention you more than once, yes.
No, it's not when I'm interrupting you. You will say, and Howard, as if to reinforce something. Did you not hear yourself?
It might be to reinforce not to interrupt me.
Well, I know you'd like to think that, but you are repeating my name over and over throughout this show. Why?
Because I like that picture.
Why don't you just admit? Why don't you just admit that you don't know why?
No, I do it. I do it as a response for the act of interruption. Whether it is because I get the feeling that you are going to interrupt me during mid-sentence, and that you are going to cut me off. So I mention, and you. I do it in the act of interrupting, or the anticipation that you are going to interrupt me.
So you use prior restraint in your use of language.
I think I do, but I think, Howard, to be honest with you, it was more to the effect that you were habitually interrupting me.
I've not interrupted you much during this call at all. What are you talking about?
I would disagree about 500,000%.
I think you should listen to the show again and see, because I don't think I interrupted you often at all.
Well, you started to interrupt me, and then I may have taken it to an extreme, just saying your name, because I anticipated you interrupting me.
But you just admitted that you are doing it because you think I'm going to interrupt you.
That may be it. I have to examine the fact, but I think it stems from the fact that you started the show with the interruption of me. You'd ask me a question, and then you'd interrupt me. You wouldn't let me get a word in edgewise. You weren't as bad as Mr. Solution, but it was kind of bad.
Kind of bad or bad?
We'll end it there. Let's just.
All right, guys. Like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. I heard that it sounds like a room